he said it because of his wet blanket energy.
Unhinged. That's actually unhinged.
Hello and welcome to She's All Batch. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Jackie.
And we don't care if you're here for the right reasons. We're just happy that you're here.
Yes, so come join us as we talk shit about our favorite show. Me. All right, guys, let's creep. I haven't said that in so long. It's kind of
we're
crazy.
Bringing back the traditional creep Bachelor Encounters episode while we're in the off season. I've gotten this question a million times, like, where are the Bachelor Encounters? Where are the Bachelor Encounters? So when we have the recap episodes and sound off, like, it was getting difficult to find where to place these other segments. So we're like, you know what? Let's just wait until the recaps are gone. So now, for the foreseeable future, until we do our next, I guess, Bachelor in Paradise recap, we're going to have these traditional episodes back. So we're going to creep and we're going to encounter, and it's going to be a good time. Okay?
Such a good time.
And we have some really good creeps. Like, actually, so, I mean, to be completely transparent, creeps are just news stories, but I felt like going creepier, like digging into people's social medias. Like, I wanted this to be real creeps, and we've got quite a few of them. So I think you're going to like what we have. I think we need to first and foremost tackle this Kaitlyn Bristowe tell-all episode she did on Off the Vine.
Yeah, no, I listened yesterday. I think it was important to fully listen to really just get the full context and not just hear these little soundbite clips. I will say, though, I feel like, and maybe I'm in the minority, I feel like she talked about Jason just a handful of times, but it wasn't this big, like, blow-up tell-all that I feel that it was advertised as.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, I see the same couple, like, sentences circulating around and everyone's like, oh, isn't this crazy? A lot of it, in my opinion, was stuff we kind of already knew or figured we knew about Jason. I guess it's good to get some confirmation. But I didn't think it was as, like, explosive as she was trying to make it seem. But that's, like, on her for good marketing because, like, it got all of us to listen.
I mean, I think so. She got, she did tell all about other stuff that may not interest us as much. Like, she had this falling out with this friend that she had who was on the show a lot. And I was just listening about that part, and it sounds like it was, like, really dramatic between those two. So yes, in our world, this stuff it's not a ton of stuff. I do have, I think, 3 clips though that we can play and analyze. Before I play them though, I totally agree. Like, I was listening and I enjoy it. There's something about the Kaitlyn, Jason, Sean lore that is really entertaining. But I'm like, how many times are we going to talk about this, though? Seriously, though.
Yeah.
A lot of, like, the dogs. We're still talking about the dogs?
Well, it seemed, though,
they're
at
my
least
dogs.
with the dogs that, and with some of these other things, it seemed like this was Kaitlyn's way of kind of being like, look, I'm addressing all of this now, and then I'm never talking about it again.
But she's addressed it like 500 times.
Right. I genuinely don't know what new information we, like, learned from this.
This is new. We got more of a glimpse of what her relationship with Jason was behind the scenes. This is a quote. My last relationship, I felt, and he knew this, I felt very used. Although my house was paid off, I would have to go to him on the first of every month and be like, can you split bills? This made me feel cheap. We both had very similar income. It felt like he was riding a wave, and I'm not saying he didn't love me because I'm sure he did, but it felt like riding coattails, riding a wave, got to where he wanted to go. And I think why he was so broken about the relationship was because he didn't know who he was without me. And I think he's still working on who he is without a dog and without a girlfriend. That confirms what we felt about him anyway. Like, no, I could have wrote that.
Absolutely. Like, yeah, I feel like we already knew that. And I can see from her perspective, like, how that's how Jason seems. And I do think he is still trying to figure out, like, where he fits, especially in this, like, media influencer industry that he's now found himself in. The thing that was confusing to me was that, like, so did they not split bills? Or, like, the fact that she has to ask him every single month, like, that's not a conversation you guys have had and, like, established. Like, hey, your house is paid off, but, like, we'll split the electric, or, like, I'll get groceries this time, you get them next time.
Right.
Like, why are they not talking about those things? That's what you talk about in a relationship. And you, like, I think that's, like, kind of an early on, once you start living together thing. Like, you have those conversations. Why were they not? And why was it every single month a confusing thing? Who was paying for what?
Right. Well, that's
These are
what
two
I think
people with a lot of money. What, like,
that's what she's saying, though. Like, we had similar incomes. It felt like he was riding a wave, almost as if, like, he just didn't acknowledge it was the first of the month. Maybe Kaitlyn would pay it, and, like, he can get away with not having to pay. riding a wave is such a great way to explain it because that's
Mhm.
how it looked from the outside. Like he was so overzealous on social media, and she says in an upcoming clip that I'm going to play that he was all about social media, and that's what the relationship felt like. And it's just crazy for it to come full circle that we were spot on with what we felt.
Yeah, doesn't it feel like two separate things though? Like the riding the wave and using her for clout versus just genuinely like almost being like stay-at-home boyfriend vibes where you don't want to contribute to the household. Like that, I don't get that part. Like, why couldn't she just say? And I have a lot of things. I feel like as this went on, I kept thinking it to myself, why couldn't you guys just have a conversation about that? Why couldn't you just say, or like you guys should be more of a team? Like once we get to like some of the podcast stuff, how she was resentful of him starting a podcast, it's like, well, if you're with someone and engaged to them and going to get married to them, like
I
you should see
agree.
yourselves as a partnership. So like the fact that it's so competitive is a little weird. Like, why can't you say to your boyfriend, hey babe, I got the groceries last time. Can you get them next time? Or like, can you Venmo
Or
me?
like, can you do electric and I'll do cable or
Yeah.
whatever? Like, there should have been like assignments so that it shouldn't, they were together for a long time. She shouldn't have had to be going every single month asking him.
Right. That's that to me is like weird. I'm like, why are you doing this?
Okay, so
Okay.
I'm going to play a clip, and this is something that people are very upset about. So Kaitlyn explains on the podcast that Jason got a dog, and the name is very special to Kaitlyn, and she feels like this was wrong of him. So let's just see what the story is before
Okay. I have
we
such strong
react.
thoughts about this.
I have such strong thoughts about
I
this
feel like
too.
we're gonna have opposite thoughts.
Really? I
I don't
actually feel
know.
like we may have the same. Let's
Okay.
stay tuned.
Okay.
I'm making this clear that I'm it's not that I'm not over him. I'm very much over him. I ended the relationship. I did not want to be in that. It felt icky to me. It felt like everything was for Instagram and numbers. I did not want to be in it. But to get a dog and name that dog my dream baby name that I've had in my baby names for 10 years, that in fact I even have a text
Yeah, you
that
sent
says
it.
to him, huh?
You sent it to me.
I sent it to you. A text. I said the day I met him, I want to name my baby Teddy. Just to wrap that up, I know I seem very angry, but it's more like I don't like feeling disrespected. And I just have so many gross feelings from that because for so long I was made to feel crazy. And now I'm like, oh, I'm not crazy. I just saw what other people are seeing now. And it's just not aligned. What I want out of life is not what he wants. And that is what two people shouldn't be together like that. So I'm not fully angry. I'm just really grossed out and disappointed. And this will probably be the last time I will ever speak on him ever again because I didn't for so long. And that felt really good because I had let it go. And then that kind of just fired
Festered
something
and-
up in me again. And I think it's okay to talk about.
I have to say, if my ex, who I plan on never seeing or talking to again, has a dog named a name that I want to name my baby, that would not affect me in the slightest. Like, who cares? She's not,
Jackie,
Jason is not a
shocker.
part of. Wait, is that your is that
Yeah.
your thought too? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Okay, guys, guess what? We agree. We get along. But that to me is like crazy. Jason is not a part of her life. She's never gonna see him again. She's never gonna see this dog again. I mean, she might see Jason again at like an event or something or with mutual friends, but this dog is never gonna be a part of her life. Who cares what the dog is named?
You know what's really funny? In our Facebook group, someone shared a clip to this interview and people started talking about the dog, the Teddy thing. And just by reading what was written, I originally wrote a comment and then I didn't post it. But my comment was, wait, I'm confused. Why would she care that his dog is named that? Like, this is essentially a stranger now in your life. Like, you aren't going to see him again unless you ran into him in the grocery store. Like, you're not
Right.
really crossing paths with this guy. It's the same thing like saying a guy I knew in fourth grade named his dog my kid's name. Like, why does that affect me? Because he knew
Yeah.
it was your baby name. And she says in the episode that she's not going to name the baby that now because
That's crazy.
I guess on her seeing both sides, I was trying to think about this because my initial reaction was like, no, that's who cares. But then I was thinking about it. And if Kaitlyn one day is pregnant, she has a baby, it's Teddy. and everyone's like, oh, that's Jason's dog's name. Everyone's going to think Kaitlyn copied Jason. And I can understand from that point of view, that sucks.
Who's going to say that though? Like who in
People
Kaitlyn's
would.
life? Maybe people on the internet who are crazy, but like any
Yeah,
one of
but-
her friends is not going to say that or care or would know the story. I could maybe see that like, oh, like she'll see Teddy and then Teddy will always remind her of Jason. But it doesn't have to. Like, she doesn't have to know this dog, Teddy. You know what I mean? It's not like he got the dog while they were still together and named it Teddy, and she now knows this dog, Teddy. Like, for all she's concerned, this dog, Teddy, doesn't exist. Like, she never has to cross paths with Teddy.
Right. I mean, I guess the only reason he knows about Teddy is because of social media. She's not hanging out with Jason. They don't share custody of the dogs anymore, which she made clear in this episode but that is something that we've literally covered on the show like 6 months ago. And 6 months ago, I was like, why do we care about the dogs so much? So there was like a whole segment dedicated to the dogs. I guess because she said, though, that Jason went on a podcast and was like, yeah, I'm not allowed to see them, and like playing the victim, as he does sometimes. Maybe the dog's name is Theodore. Did we ever think of that? And Teddy's just the nickname.
Well, yeah, that's typically, I guess.
No, she wants to name her kid Teddy.
But if it was a boy, wouldn't it be Theodore, nicknamed Teddy?
It could be Teddy.
What's Teddy Mellencamp's full name?
I love nicknames as full names. That's what.
No, I think Teddy is like actually a really cool name. I'm like, should I name my kid Teddy?
Yeah,
Watch
I
out,
like it
Kaitlyn.
with an
I'm
I.
gonna name my kid. Like, you know, it's kind of the same. Like, if I were to name my kid Teddy and Kaitlyn Bristowe was like, ugh, you copied me. Like, Kaitlyn, I don't know you, and you're never gonna see my kid, so she's never gonna see the dog.
Maybe it sabotages the name now because she can't look at her baby Teddy without thinking of Jason's dog.
But just don't think about it. I don't know. Like, I think it would be one thing if like your sister steals your baby name and then that baby always has to be in your life, or a close friend that you're going to see this kid all the time. Then you can't name your kid that, right? Like it's already taken. But I think there's room in the world for Teddy, Kaitlyn's kid, and also Teddy the dog.
And Theodore, Jason's
dog.
Right,
like there are other people in the world named Teddy. She didn't like make up this name.
Right. I mean,
like
I
you know,
will
in Sex
say,
and the City when Charlotte makes up the name Shayla. Was that what it is? And that was going to be her kid's name. And that actually, that's kind of similar. In Sex and the City, her baby name that she wanted to name her kids was Shayla. And then they go to some baby shower and the woman is like, yeah, I think I'm going to name her Shayla. And she's like, that's my name. I made it up. And she was like, no, I think I heard it somewhere else. Weird. But that would be a real problem because that's her friend. And now she can't name her kid Shayla. You know?
I agree. I think we are in the minority here. I think from what I've seen on the internet, everyone is up in arms about this Teddy name, which I can see both sides a little bit. And granted, guys, like almost entirely I'm on Kaitlyn's side in this Kaitlyn versus Jason. Like I am team Kaitlyn. But in this situation, I'm like, all right, this is a little much. I don't know if it's that big of a deal, but she's done. Teddy, Kaitlyn's baby, is no longer.
So sad. If she really liked the name that much.
Lesson learned.
Matter.
If you have a sacred baby name, keep it to yourself.
Even the person you think you're going to marry.
You run, I know, right? You run the risk of someone just organically liking the name.
It's true.
And using it. So.
I know. Liquid IV, liquid IV. You guys, the weather is getting warmer. Summer is coming. I swear, once the weather gets nice in New York City, I am like a feral girl outside all the time. I'm walking everywhere. I'm bopping places. We're going to rooftops. We're going to the beach. We're going to lay in the park. There's a lot of activities and I need to stay hydrated throughout all of that. It's a hot and sweaty time in New York City. Of course, I want to be outside, but if I'm sweating that much, I definitely need to make sure that I am hydrating so that I have the energy to make it through these stunning summer days. And that is where Liquid IV comes in. We've told you guys about Liquid IV before, and I honestly really do swear by it. It really is part of my weekend routine to always just have a Liquid IV on my nightstand to chug before I go to bed after a night out. They have 6 delicious sugar-free flavors: raspberry lemonade, white peach, green grape, lemon lime, raspberry melon, and rainbow sherbet. My favorite one for summer especially is the firecracker flavor. You guys know those popsicles you would have as a kid that were red, white, and blue, very festive, very 4th of July, summer coated. They have a liquid IV flavor that's literally that popsicle. And I feel like in the summer, there's truly nothing better. Like, honestly, mix it in a cocktail and you'll be hydrated, but also having a little bit of a fun time. You can also buy liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco. So get ready for summer with extraordinary hydration from Liquid IV. You guys can get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code She'sAllBatch at checkout. That's 20% off your first order with code She'sAllBatch at liquidiv.com. I don't know if this is going to come out wrong, but I think something Kaitlyn Bristowe should work on is like, and it kind of goes back to your point about like the dog thing of like, okay, we've heard about the dogs. Like, I feel like she always feels like she needs to go and like clear things up, even if it's something as small as like Jason saying that she said he couldn't see the dogs. And she's like, I need to go set the record straight, blah, blah, blah. And maybe she should just work on like letting people have the wrong idea about her. You know, easier said than done, but I feel like she always has to go out and like defend herself. And it's like, I don't care about the dogs. You know what I mean? Like, Kaitlyn, you didn't need to justify this to us.
I can only imagine the level of like hate and backlash she gets though. Because I hate feeling misunderstood. Like, I hate when people like twist a sentence I say and then make it sound like something else. She must get that like tenfold. So
I think she gets
can imagine,
it regardless, you know?
Yeah. I could see her being like, are you kidding me? That's not what happened. And she wants to explain it, and almost coming from a place of anger, not from a place of, I need to clear my name. Like, she's mad. She says in the episode, she's like, I took a tequila shot and I'm getting fired up right now. Like, she's angry. Another thing she was angry about, a topic that we've already covered, but she's explaining it again, is this podcast thing. We do get a little more context, though, on how badly it affected her that Jason launched a podcast. I have a clip, and she basically says that before he moved into her house, she made it clear that he can't start a podcast. These are weird stipulations. Like, why would you?
These are weird,
right?
Yeah. I don't know if it's that they were just not compatible and not meant to be together, or if like, I hate to say this, but I think maybe Kaitlyn has some things she needs to work on for relationships, because she keeps talking about always feeling in competition with her partner, and I just really don't think that's normal. I think like if you're like a big powerful businesswoman and she's built like all these amazing things, she should like want her partner to share in that and not feel so like mine, like it's ours, like let's expand the empire. Like, I don't know, I feel like if I was in her position and my partner wanted to start a podcast, I'd be like, yes, like start a podcast. Let's branch out. Let's build this empire like bigger. Yeah. So the competition thing is strange to me.
What's weird is she also had the competition with Sean, who was doing nothing in her field though. Right. And she references how like she was really unhappy when Sean started the gym, and that she thinks he was holding on to the relationship until he launched the gym because he knew that them together was better than them apart. And I definitely have said this when we've covered the situation before, but it feels to me like she wants to be like the alpha woman in the relationship. She wants to be the breadwinner. She wants to be the one who's more famous, more relevant. And like, I don't know, think about how Nick Lachey feels when he married Jessica Simpson. She catapulted past him. Let's play the clip and get her actual quotes, because I don't want to put words in her mouth, but
I can own everything I did wrong in that relationship. I definitely was trying to hold him back from podcasting because I knew it was same thing with Sean opening a gym. I was like, I know this is the nail in the coffin because our relationship is already not good. With Jay, I was like, I know that you starting a podcast is going to cross wires. It's my favorite thing that I do. You knew moving into my house, that's the one thing I was like, please don't do. He did it anyways. It was all just about his schedule, what would make him grow financially. He always said financially, professionally, and personally. And I was made to feel crazy because I was stunting his growth. But really, I knew exactly what was going to happen, which happened. He started taking email lists and these clients and this and building up his from what I've already built. And then the resentment starts. And the thing about this is no matter how much I could explain this situation, the people who love him will always hate me. The people who love me will see exactly what I see. So I'm not trying to prove anyone of this and he's a bad person. I don't think I treated him very nicely towards the end because I was so angry because of feelings of betrayal. It feels like he really lost the plot of a relationship.
Yes.
I think it's weird that she wouldn't want to share her email lists with her partner. And I find it weird that she would what is she getting resentful of exactly? It's not like his podcast is like outperforming hers and like replacing hers. It's kind of bachelor-y, but he kind of found his own lane with the financial thing. I don't think it's as big as her
completely
podcast.
Its own niche.
Yeah, like why is she? I don't get where the resentment is coming from, other than just like her not wanting him to have success in a field that she feels is like her field. But why can't you guys both work in that field? You both do. So like,
when I was watching it for the first time, when she says, and the same thing happened that I knew was going to happen, my brain like jumped and tried to think of what she was going to say. And I thought she was going to say something like, he was podcasting all the time and had no time for me. Like I wasn't sure what she predicted happened. And then when she said he's asking for email lists, I was like, oh, wait. So you mean to tell me you have a really successful podcast? Yes, you built it. And I think that's where the resentment comes from. Like she didn't have someone that handed it out to her. She did build it by herself and she should be really proud of that. But like, why, if your fiance, this man that you're going to marry, you can help him and help him maybe skip a few steps. Like we started from zero. Literally, She's All Batch episode 1, 0. Like we didn't have an audience. If someone a week in said, here's like, you could jump 20 levels. Why wouldn't you want to help the one person that you love in the world? To me, I feel like shows that this was not the right person for you, because I do feel that eventually when you find someone that is the right guy, you're going to want to help them.
Yes,
I would
absolutely
think.
I wrote a note about this when I was listening. What did I say? Oh yeah, I kind of said almost the exact same thing that you said. Kaitlyn, is there a world where with the right person she would be supportive of them starting a podcast and not resentful, like adding on to what she's already built together? Yeah, it's just, I guess what I can't tell is if it's like a wrong person thing or if it's just like, this is a Kaitlyn problem. I hate to be like, it's her fault, but it just kind of like, it does feel that way. Even though I think a lot of what Jason did was really icky. Like I'm not defending Jason at all because I think it's very clear that he was using her for his own gain.
What personally, professionally, financially, like if my fiance said, I want to grow personally, professionally, and I don't even know if those are the three things he said. I'm like,
that is what he
stop
said.
Like doing a presentation to me right now. I feel like
it's corporate.
Is like Zach and like does presentations on calculators, but he does it like all day long, even when it's after work.
No, I know. I just feel like he's like the kind of person who will say like the grind unironically. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to keep like leveling up.
Right. He talks in office jargon, but like not to be funny.
No, that's just how he like thinks.
Yeah, he's like, can we put a pin in this real quick?
Yeah. Yeah, babe, let's circle back. Like I could see him being the kind of person where like if you're in an argument, like if he was in an argument with Kaitlyn, he'd be like, put something on my cal for later today so that we can like resolve this, you know?
They're like deciding on what to eat for dinner. And he's like, Kaitlyn, I think we need to think outside the box here.
Yeah.
Hop on a call. We say hop on a call a lot, but we are saying it about work.
But we're literally hopping on a call. We're literally to talk about work.
She's like, Jason, can you pick up the laundry? He's like, I really don't have the bandwidth right now.
No, literally.
Can we bubble that up to someone else? He's like, can you keep me in the loop on what you're doing tomorrow, Kaitlyn? Like,
right.
Stop.
It just comes off as like very inauthentic. But I've said that for a while, that like that's the secret sauce that Kaitlyn has that he does not have, is that she has been vulnerable and authentic and is truly true to herself. And I feel like he is just always trying to do what's going to get the most numbers, and like he thinks of it in a very financial way, but as a result, like it's just not authentic. It can kind of be said for his whole life, honestly.
Well, we don't know him before Becca's season, his whole life.
Okay, since Becca's season, just the whole thing, like this, just the dating of Kaitlyn, like it all funnels into like financial gain.
Right. And when she says like he doesn't know who he is without a girlfriend, I think he's going to come out and date Kelly Flanagan. Like vibes are on. Well, no, vibes are off, but I feel like that's going to happen
Yeah.
for sure.
Well,
And I think it's
did
good.
you watch that episode? I've been meaning to watch that episode with the two of
No, because
them,
I really don't want to.
but I want to see if the vibes are there. You know what? I'll
Oh.
watch it and I'll let you know about the
Take one for
vibes.
the team.
Yeah.
Circle back. We'll put a pin in it for now,
I'll
and
circle back and follow up.
ping me later.
Yeah.
We're not saying he's a bad guy. We don't actually know him, but
I don't think he is a bad guy. I think he just like wasn't great in this relationship.
Okay, so to tie this story up with a bow, Jason posted a TikTok that he was out getting drinks with his mom. It was that trend when it's like, I need a big hug. I don't know. I don't even know the trend, but it's like, I need a big hug, but instead I'm going to go out to get a drink with my mom, something like that. So the timing of it was interesting because it was after the tell-all dropped, and it very much seemed like he was like, I want to go out with my mom because I'm upset about this. Someone commented and said, sending a big hug from a Canadian girl that sees people that need way too much attention and play the victim like it's her job. Keep thriving and have a fantastic time with your mama bear. And Jason liked it.
Oh my God.
I think it's pretty telling.
Very much so. I don't know. I honestly don't think I'm team either of them in this. I think they both did bad things in the relationship. Not bad things, but like I think they both
have their
had a
flaws.
part to play. Yeah, they're clearly not right for each other.
I think in the relationship as a whole, I'm wholeheartedly team Kaitlyn. I think in these little nuances, it depends on who's doing what, because some things that like the podcast thing, I don't really fully understand.
Yeah.
And I also don't blame Jason for saying like, you're stunting my growth, because
Absolutely.
as an influencer nowadays, you do have a podcast. That is the next thing. Like influencers don't do like club appearances anymore. This is the new club appearance of this time period, you know? So he wants to capitalize on his popularity that he did gain from her. Like Jason wouldn't be who he is if he didn't date her.
Yeah, but I don't think she should have been so resentful of him wanting to do a podcast and like grow in that way. So it's like, and I can see from his perspective how then things really come to a head and it becomes an unhealthy relationship when it's like, okay, the girl I'm dating like is competing with me all the time and doesn't want me to succeed because she had to struggle.
I could see if she was like, can you please not touch on, I don't even know what Off the Vine covers, but like lifestyle.
Everything. She just talks about like
she
whatever.
She kind of covers everything. But it would be like me, if my best friend was starting a podcast, if I said like, hey, can you just like not cover The Bachelor? Like, because that's like a direct competitor to me. I don't even know if I would do that. But I could see her saying like, hey, can you not cover XYZ? He carved out his own niche. Like the finance thing couldn't be more different from Kaitlyn's podcast. So I just feel like it's not in your direct category. You're not in competition.
I guess it's a little different because I think Zach is obviously not as forward facing as Jason, but like Zach's also an influencer and like doesn't
he have a podcast? I'm pretty sure he has something.
I think he does too. And granted, I think it focuses more on like sobriety and his journey with mental health and whatever, but yeah, I think he does have
because
a podcast.
Maybe he was doing it before they got together though. And in this case, she was telling Jason not to do it and he did it.
Yeah, it's called the Zach Clark Show.
They got together January of last year. If you can see like the origin date. He definitely did not launch this while dating her.
He might have. Like when did this looks like relatively new.
If you're on it, scroll to the first episode.
I know, I'm scrolling. It's still going though. He posts a lot. Zach Clark Show, April 15th, 2024. So last year.
Oh, wow. And
so that was when they were dating.
Yeah,
right?
because New Year's Eve last year is when they were spotted together.
Yeah.
What? That's kind of crazy.
Kind of, I know.
That would be my argument if I was Jason's lawyer, which I would never be. But I would say, excuse me, Your Honor, evidence, her new boyfriend launched a podcast 4 months after they were spotted canoodling at a New Year's Eve party.
Right. But maybe that just goes back to like Jason was not the right person for her for other reasons, which is why she was like resentful and didn't want him to be successful in that way. Because Zach does still give more of a, I mean, I do think Zach is way less clout chasey than Jason. Yeah. Even though he is podcasting, he does give more of a vibe of like a little more out of the spotlight, a little bit more private. it's not so much about like sharing every aspect of his life. Like his podcast is about a very specific thing. I don't know. And he doesn't really do the whole influencer thing on his personal Instagram.
Also, her saying podcasting is my favorite thing in the world. I do feel like when you find the right person, you would maybe want to share that with them.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, I really love playing volleyball and I don't want you to play because I don't want you to come with me to the games. I don't know. Maybe it's like golf with men. Like maybe it's like her escape from Jason.
Sure.
I don't know. This whole thing is kind of confusing to me.
Yeah.
But I think we do need to move on because there's another issue at hand.
What is
and
that?
The issue at hand is that Clayton is upset. And when Clayton is upset, I'm upset.
This one's a toughie for me.
Yeah, same. So in case you missed it, Clayton Echard has called out Gabby Windey for bullying. We'll play the full clip. Just for context, Gabby went on a podcast and said some not nice things about Clayton.
Culturistas.
Oh, so I didn't know the name. Thank you for plugging
it's Las Culturistas. Well, I can't even talk. Las Culturistas. It's hard to pronounce, but
dancing videos. No. Oh my God, they will make you run. I'm gonna send you one, and you wish you didn't have eyes. Oh. I can fall in love with this toe. Look,
yeah, sure.
You know, skinny jean wearing. This is my guy.
So I debated responding to this because sometimes I feel it's unnecessary, but this is the second interview I've been sent in the last couple weeks from Gabby, making comments about me online. And, I used to be a people pleaser and didn't want to upset anybody, so I'd keep my mouth shut. But I don't believe that anymore or in doing that. And I'm not that way. Thankfully, through healing and going on this journey with my dancing, which has brought so much self-love and self-confidence, that I'm truly so grateful to have found something that I get to work on myself every day and challenge myself. And I'm not the greatest at it, and I'm aware of that. I'm not delusional, but it's me versus me every single day I get in that studio, and it's movement therapy. It's allowed me to release a lot of my anger and frustrations, and sometimes me and my instructor Steph just chat for half the time that we are there. So dance has done so much for me, and the cool thing is that not only has it brought me self-love and self-confidence, but it's inspired other people to get the courage to step out of their comfort zones and try something new, because it's never too late to try something new. So it's harmless, and I know I'm not the next big dancer. I'm just doing what's fun, but I have to stand up for myself, and that's why I'm making this video. Gabby, what you're doing is bullying. There's no other way around it. You're attacking me for my physical appearance. You're attacking me for a passion that I love that's changed my life. It's unnecessary, and it's not funny. And videos with like what you make where you comment, you have such a large platform, and you're setting a really bad example, which is just disheartening to see that you have this big of a platform. This is how you choose to use it. So I'm standing up for myself because I think it's just the right thing to do, and I don't want people to be scared to try something new because bullying online, like what you're doing, impacts them in a way which stops them. So do better, Gabby. This isn't lighthearted. I don't want to hear this whole, just relax, it was a joke. It's not a joke. I haven't talked to you in 3 years, and you continue to take shots at me, and it's just unnecessary. So I hope you do better, and I hope I don't have to make videos like this, but I do believe accountability should be had.
It is hard because we love Gabby, and I do think sometimes things are jokes. Yeah. I do feel she went a little too far this time.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think, though, I don't think she was trying to be malicious or like trying to make fun of him. Like, you know what I mean? I think she was trying to be funny and kind of missed the mark. And if Clayton was offended and upset by what she said, he has every right to be offended and upset by whatever she said. You know what I mean? Whether like I find it funny or don't find it funny is kind of irrelevant. Like Clayton took it a type of way. They have a previous like relationship. So if he was hurt by it, he has every right to be hurt by it. So it is tough because I don't think Gabby was like trying to hurt him. Like she I think was making a joke that kind of fell a little flat. The bullying feels a little crazy to say, though. Couldn't he have just said like, hey, Gabby, like I thought we were good. Like I was kind of hurt by you saying that. Like dancing makes me really happy. So you don't need to like make fun of my appearance.
I don't know. I think there's some things that cross the line. I think you can be snarky, sarcastic, make witty banter, which Gabby's definitely known for, and to call him a toe-looking guy, and just the have you seen his dancing videos? Oh my God, I'm gonna send it to you. You're gonna make it's gonna make you wish you didn't have eyes. Like that is full blown. Oh my God, let's all look at this and laugh at this person. I saw the clip of Gabby first. I watched for a couple seconds, honestly didn't think much of it, and then kept scrolling. I didn't care. After seeing Clayton's take on it, then I went back and I'm like, oh wow, like if this was said about me, I would be mortified. Gabby is very funny and very relatable and very much on a high right now. Like she could do no wrong.
Yeah.
And I agree, she can do no wrong. But I do think she may need to rein a little bit of it in because it's not everything that you say that's going to be funny. Like some things you do need to remember. People are paying attention and people are looking. So like you just need to watch what you say a little bit.
Sure.
She's just making fun of him. Like she's just trying to get
100%.
a laugh.
She's making fun of
It's
him.
very similar to Kaitlyn and the Tayshia thing. Like, oh, well, now I'm going to send her a picture of me S-ing his D. Like she wasn't really going to send her a picture of that,
Right.
but she was trying to get a laugh. I think Gabby was just trying to be funny and silly, but it hurt Clayton's feelings. And I think, she should own that and apologize. Maybe she did behind the scenes. He could have wrote her privately, but I think him standing up for himself publicly does show a lot of strength and say a lot about him.
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe she DM'd him and was like, hey, that wasn't my intention. Like, sorry.
Hey guys, Stephanie and Jackie from the future here.
Hello.
To report that Gabby has, of course, responded after we recorded and edited this entire episode. So not gonna lie, a little pissed, but
Yeah. I feel like everyone in the nation of Bachelor has a radar of once we're done recording our episode and then they like to post things that add to the story. Like this happens way too often, but
I know,
I'm
but
glad that we were able to make it work to be able to put in a response now.
I know, right before we recorded, I said to Jackie, like, I'm just happy that Gabby didn't respond at like 1 a.m. and like there was nothing we could do about it. We have enough time to add it in, so we will. It's just in this case, a lot of our commentary about the story is without knowing Gabby's response. So that's what's kind of annoying to me. But before we get into it, here's Gabby's response. This is what she said. She shared it on social media.
Oh, that's rich. It's rich coming from a man who exploited my sexual life on TV without me knowing. You were intimate with the both of us, you said, on national TV in front of millions without having a conversation with me or another woman first. So you humiliated us in front of each other and in front of everybody watching the TV. Sure, people can infer, but nothing has been said so explicitly, and those kinds of details should come from a woman. Oh, I'm a mean girl? As a straight white man, maybe you should do better with your power.
Okay, am I bad to think that, like, I think they're both right in this situation. However, the only thing that I do think is a little mean girl of Gabby and kind of out of line is talking about Clayton's appearance and calling him a toe. Like, that's not nice. But other than that, like, I think she doesn't have to like him, right? Like, they're not friends. He did her dirty on TV. She doesn't like him. She can kind of like talk shit about whoever she wants. I don't think she owes him anything, but I also think he's well within his right to really have his feelings hurt and not like it and speak out against it. You know?
Yeah, something tells me there's a little bit of ego driven behind her response because I have to like collect my thoughts.
Yeah. Okay. Well, because when you were texting me, you said you were like really, would you say angry or upset? So
I was angry. I was angry that she responded. I wish this could have been a sound off.
I thought you were like angry, maybe based on like what she said, and you had.
Oh no, I'm not angry on what she said. But this is a man who has publicly stated that he's been suicidal in the past. All he's saying is like, low key, can you just please stop? I mean, he didn't say that, and maybe he should have. Maybe he should have said like, hey, my mental health is really affected by this, or message her. Don't take it on social media, you know?
True.
This didn't have to be for the public. But like my mental health is really affected by this. I have been suicidal in the past, and seeing these types of things really hurt me. If you could refrain from talking about me like that, I would really appreciate it. And that's not what he said. So I'm not saying he said that and this is her response to it. But like essentially that is the message he's saying. And all she's doing is doubling down and saying, well, you did me dirty, so go screw yourself. I just don't think is the right response.
I don't like the trying to make it equivalent of like what happened on the show to, you know, her talking about like things he's doing now in real life, because the show is so manipulated. So I don't think that's a really fair response either. But I guess like, what is she supposed to say? I guess what she's supposed to say is like, sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I was making a joke, might be. And then move on, right? Like she still doesn't have to like him. Like who cares?
Yeah, but I don't think he's even asking. I didn't know they had this much beef, but he's not asking her to like him. He's just asking her like, hey, this is affecting me.
But then again, it's not like she's like DMing him this, right? Like she's allowed to talk about whoever she wants to talk about. She's allowed to like not like whoever. I don't know. I'm trying to think I would never talk badly about like a random stranger on the podcast, but I'm like, if there was someone who like I felt did us dirty. Actually, I'm thinking of someone in my brain right now, and I think you like know who.
Yeah, got it.
We were just going off talking about them. If they were like, "Hey, can you stop? This is bullying," I'd probably
stop.
be like, "No."
Oh,
if this person asked, really?
Yeah, because I'm afraid of him.
No. Oh no. I
Who are we talking about?
This is a woman.
Oh, I thought you meant a Bachelor person.
Oh no.
But
I'm saying someone in our life.
We can't say
bleep
that.
Out that. No, bleep out that name. No, I didn't say anything else about.
Oh, it's not someone from Bachelor
like.
Nation. It's someone legally, so you guys can guess who we're talking about. But we legally can't talk about it anymore.
Someone we really don't like, and we feel did us very dirty.
I thought you were talking about.
Oh no! If he asked us to stop and was like, "Oh, this is really affecting me," I would, because like I don't want to hurt anyone. But this girl, I want to hurt her.
Yeah, and this is someone outside of Bachelor Nation. Just keep that in mind, guys.
Yeah.
I think a more Gabby Windey response would be like, what's like, I don't know, finding a funny trending TikTok sound, saying like mouthing it, and then and like doesn't say it's for Clayton, doesn't say it's a response, but everyone knows. Like, well, I would check myself into a mental hospital, but I have things to do, or something like whatever that sound is, something like that. I think could have been a funny Gabby response. Like, it's almost like, I don't give a shit, but I'm still going to respond in a way. Her doubling down and saying like, because he did what he did on TV, like no one's defending outing you for having sex with him on TV.
It kind of feels like you're just, because it's like if she thinks his dancing is stupid and she wants to say that, she can say that. She's not friends with him. She doesn't owe him anything. If he's hurt by that, he's also allowed to be hurt by that. What happened to like just out of sight, out of like Clayton? If you're hurt, turn off Las Culturistas. Like, I don't know.
I know. I think it's the clips floating around. And he said in his original clip that this is the second a different time that she keeps bringing him up. This is very similar to Kaitlyn bashing Nick back in the day. And then Nick wrote her and said like, hey, like, do you have a problem with me? Like, can you get a new joke? And Kaitlyn was like, all right, good point. Like, fair. And they kind of like squashed it. And it's the same. Yeah. There's a lot of similarities there. They dated on the show.
If Kaitlyn was like, you know what? No, I can't get a new joke. I'm going to keep saying it. F you. I feel like I wouldn't like love that response, but she'd be like, she's allowed to do that. You know what I mean? In my opinion, it's kind of a dick move, but like.
I had a glass of wine, guys, since we did this Stephanie Jackie for the Future. So I feel like my thoughts are a little bit all over the place. I don't know if this was the right response on Gabby's end. I think doubling down, what kind of message does that send everyone? That it's like, as long as someone in your past did something wrong to you, you're allowed to just be mean. Two wrongs don't make a right.
But like, in a way, doesn't it? Like, I don't know, if there was someone who I really felt wronged by, like genuinely, which is very few people, can I just talk about them as much as I want? I don't know.
I know. That's why this is a tricky story.
Tricky. Yeah. Because it's like, if she really just feels like, look, I don't like Clayton. Like, I want to talk shit about him.
It's her right to talk about him.
Yeah. Get out of the comments. Like, normalize people not liking you and it being okay.
Easier said than done.
Like, if someone called me a thumb, I really wouldn't care.
But maybe if you had like issues with the fact that you thought you looked like a thumb, it would trigger something.
Sure.
We don't know how he feels about said thumbs and fingers,
Yeah.
or toes rather.
But is that person's fault to like know that? I don't know.
I think kindness goes a long way as a whole, guys. And I don't know. I think this whole thing's a little bit messy. I think people are kind of living for this back and forth now. I would guess that Clayton doesn't respond, and you better not respond until tomorrow.
I know.
This is a threat, Clayton.
I know,
because I will be no, I'm not getting back on. So if Clayton responds, you guys are going to have to just wait. And yeah, I think my overall take on this is two wrongs don't make a right. I am not what's the fuck? I had a glass of wine. I'm not approving of the fact that what Clayton did on TV. I also know that probably production had a lot to do with the fact that he said I've been intimate with both women. I'm sure Zach did. Like I'm sure production had a hand in Zach Shallcross doing it as well.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
She has every right to still be upset by that and hurt by that. But like, I don't get how these are connected. I think honestly, this all could have been avoided if maybe Clayton messaged Gabby to begin with. I think it's the public outing that pissed Gabby off and made her want to retaliate, which is why I was saying maybe it's coming from an ego. Like she doesn't want to be called out publicly, so she's going to fire back. Whereas I wonder if I wonder if he DM'd her and was kind about it and said like, this is affecting me. If she'd be like, all right, cool, it's fine. Let's just drop it. I don't know if she would be as like sassy back.
Well, and it does make me wonder, why didn't he just DM her? It feels like he wanted to make it public because he wants this conversation public and feels like it's like part of his like, and part of it is part of his platform. But there was a way
all about
to
mental
like
health,
privately handle this so that no one felt on blast. I don't know.
Yeah, and also because his post was very accusatory. Like going to be on Gabby's side, like Clayton was very accusatory, like calling her a bully, not saying like not giving her the benefit of the doubt that maybe she was just saying it to be funny or she didn't think about it or whatever. He was like flat out calling her a bully, which I understand like that sucks on Gabby's end as well.
And bully is a really strong word. I don't think what Gabby's doing is bullying. It's not nice, but
it's not nice.
Not nice things are not bullying. I think that's pretty much all I have to say. Maybe once I've had time to marinate on it, we can like revisit and sound off if we have other things to say. But
I will say to Gabby and Clayton, can you guys both not use the phrase do better because it's triggering to me?
Yeah.
Never forget. Do better, Stephanie Parker. Back to our episode.
Okay. Bye. I don't know. I think it's mean girl behavior a little bit, but also like
I think this is more mean girl behavior than Juliana calling Letia and the girls mean girls. Because that brings me to our next story.
So the past few times that we have recorded the podcast, I've gone on just fully barefaced, no makeup, which was a choice. I mean, you know, sometimes you just wake up in the morning and you got to go to work looking the way you look, right? But a lot of thoughts were in my DMs or asking me in the Facebook group, like what I'm really doing for my skin because they were really impressed and felt that my skin was glowing. And something that I really think has been super beneficial to my skin is my Blissy pillowcase. Blissy pillowcases are dermatologist tested and recommended, and they're clinically proven not to clog pores, unlike cotton pillowcases. They have naturally hydrating silk fibers, which keeps your skin moisturized all night long. And the thing I think that I like most about Blissy pillowcases is that the pillowcase is not absorbing the products on your skin. And I honestly think that's why my skin has been looking so good recently, is that like I told you guys, I was saying in the Facebook group when the thoughts were asking about it, I do put a lot of products on my skin to sleep every night, like a really thick moisturizer. I really want my face to absorb that, but I don't want the pillowcase to also absorb that thick moisturizer. And with a silk pillowcase, all of those expensive products are going to stay on your skin and not be absorbed into the fabric. Blissy pillowcases have been featured on Live with Kelly and Mark, The View, Oprah Daily, and Good Morning America, and they have sold over 3 million. And because you guys are She's All Batch listeners, Blissy is offering 60 nights risk-free plus an additional 30% off when you shop at blissy.com/batch30. That's BACH30. That's Blissy, BLISSY.com/batch30 to get an additional 30% off. Your skin and hair will thank you.
So on the Vial Files, Nick kind of like, he set Juliana up for this quote, but he's like, do you think they're kind of being like mean girls? And she said yes. So in which case it's like Juliana calls the girls mean girls. I always wanted to know like if they end up finding out about this stuff or what. And turns out they did because Letia and Dina posted a TikTok. This is on Dina's page, but Letia's in the video with her. They responded to a comment, and the comment is, "You know y'all are baddies when you get mean girl allegations. I'm obsessed with y'all." And they responded, and it's just one of those videos where you quote someone else's quote.
I'm gonna let God fix it, because if I fix it, I'm going to jail.
I do think the sound that they chose, like, I'm gonna let God handle it because if I handle it, I'll be in jail. It's a choice. It is a joke, but it does prove that they know about what she said on the Vile Files, which I think is the biggest takeaway here.
But why would they not know about it? But she's talking about them on like a very big public podcast. Of course they're going to like hear that she said that.
Do you think they were being mean girls? Do you think it's mean girl behavior for what they did and then also to make a TikTok about it?
Like, but what are we talking about though? Like Letia's things that she said about Juliana, or like...
Yeah. Well, it was Letia's things about Juliana, and then also the girls coming to support Letia at AFR. And
I think that part is a little mean girlish, to be like, we're going to AFR, but we're here to support Letia, like not you. That to me is mean girlish. What Letia said about Juliana, like while she was being dumped and like in AFR, not mean girl behavior.
Yeah, so agreed. Court adjourned.
Bring in the dancing lobsters.
All right, guys, it is time. It is the time you've all been waiting for, and I'm so excited to bring it back. We have 2 Bachelor Encounters, and we also have a piece of advice segment.
Ooh, I love giving advice.
So let's do Bachelor Encounters first. Hi, I'm a weekly listener of your podcast and truly never miss an episode. Love you guys. Thank you. Love you.
Thanks.
Quick Bachelor Encounter that just happened. Mind you, some of these are old, so it doesn't mean they just happened. I went to the new Sunday morning cinnamon roll spot on the Lower East Side for my birthday this morning, and guess who walked out filming 1,000 videos? Matt James. He was behind the counter and all over the place helping make the cinnamon rolls and filming everything. We asked if he wanted to get him in the video, and he said no, but I might get your dog in it. We didn't mention that we knew exactly who he was because I'm sure it's a wild time for him with the breakup. Okay, so this is post-breakup. It was just funny to see him in his element after listening to the breakup episode that Rachel did. Oh, and then she also mentioned that she thinks she's in the back of one of the videos with Bedhead.
Got it.
So the grind never stops with Matt James. He's
Seems
making
like it.
the cinnamon.
I was going to say, why is he working at the cinnamon roll store?
Has anyone seen said cinnamon roll video?
I don't know. Let's do some research.
Yeah, why don't you do some research? On his page, you're going to have to
And
dig for hours.
Well,
Not like I know. I don't follow him, but I
it's
assume.
the Sunday morning cinnamon roll spot. Like, is that what it's called?
The new Sunday morning cinnamon roll spot on the Lower East Side.
I have not heard of this spot.
You got to go there.
I guess. I'm not
It's the
really a
place to
cinnamon
be.
roll person.
Right. Like at first, I thought you were going to say he was like outside eating the cinnamon roll and reviewing it, not literally working behind the counter making the cinnamon roll.
That's what
so
I'm
obviously this
confused
is
about.
a partnership. Like I don't think like Cinnabon just lets you come behind the counter if you want to film a TikTok. You know, they have boundaries.
Right. No, it does seem like maybe he was there to promote the place and they were like, oh, you know how we can get the girlies to talk about it on TikTok? Matt James, come work here on a Sunday.
Yeah, but it didn't work. You're in Manhattan. You didn't even know
And
about
I've
the
never
Sunday
heard
morning
about the
cinnamon
Sunday
roll.
morning cinnamon roll place.
Is
That's
it
very
only open
New
on
York,
Sunday
though.
morning?
I feel like, have you seen that SNL sketch? It was like a few weeks ago where they're like, it's weekend in New York and what we're going to do is wait in a big fat line. And it's just like, that's
No, but
very
that's
New York
accurate.
to like be like some trending stupid shop that only sells one thing. And it's like a mixture of like cinnamon buns and a taco and a pizza. And everyone waits in line for like 3 hours for it. And it's like overpriced.
Taco
not
and
that
pizza
good.
and cinnamon rolls? Wouldn't it just be cinnamon rolls?
No, I'm just saying like, but the thing is always like some quirky, unique thing. Like remember the cronut? Never forget.
The what?
The cronut, the croissant mixed with donut. People would wait in line for those
cronut.
things.
I thought you said corona. I'm like, the virus?
No, yes, like the virus. No, the
Yeah, I remember
cronut.
it. Cronut,
People
yes.
would wait in long lines for those.
If you haven't found the Cinnabon video,
I know, I'm really not seeing it.
let's
Very
give homework
weird.
to our listeners. Guys, if you
Yeah,
saw
find
the
it,
cinnamon
guys.
roll video,
Oh, wait, I found it. Hold on.
no way. Can we put it in?
Cinnamon-
We'll put it in the YouTube.
Yeah, cinnamon rolls served hot and fresh every 12 minutes at Sunday morning cinnamon rolls in Alphabet City. There's a flavor for every palate.
Okay.
And then, he's there like with the people that work there. Yeah, he's literally making the cinnamon rolls.
Oh my God. And our friend was there.
Wow. Let's see if I see anyone with bedhead in the background. Hold on.
Also, Julie, we're going to shout you out. Our friend, our FOTS Julie, who listens to every single episode, was at this cinnamon roll store. Yay, Julie.
Yay. Also, let me know, Julie, about the cinnamon rolls. Like, is this place worth going to? I don't know.
Yeah, let us know. Also, maybe we shouldn't put his video in our video because #no free ads. We're already plugging it way too much.
Oh my
And I
God,
also
wait, these
plugged
cinnamon rolls
Cinnabon.
look amazing, actually.
There's
an
how
Earl
they get
Grey
you.
flavored like icing one, and then this like pistachio one. Wow.
Go in there. If you go after listening to this, tell them that you heard about them on She's All Batch, and they should sponsor us.
Yeah, I would go to Sunday morning cinnamon rolls. It looks really good.
Okay, stop saying the name.
Sorry.
It's like 45 times.
Sorry, you can bleep it out.
No. Okay. Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. I matched with Ben from Tayshia's season on Raya on Christmas Eve of 2021 while the pandemic was still in full force. So I decided to open the combo and try to be funny by saying, are you scrolling through a dating app on Christmas Eve because you have COVID too, or you're just Jewish? To which he didn't respond until 2 years later when he goes, this is not a joke. I literally had COVID. So taking the opportunity since he responded again, I said, I'm sorry to hear that, Ben. I've been wondering about it for the past 2 years. And he just never responded. So in a last ditch effort / attempt to be funny and cute, I messaged him on Christmas Eve of this year on the 3-year anniversary of us first matching, saying 3 years later, Christmas Eve, I think this is finally our year, Ben. All right. This is
so funny.
This is cute. And he responded, that's cute, which already I was like, really, dude? He's giving me nothing. So I respond, is it? To which he goes, actually, no. Like, actually, no, it's not cute. I was so appalled. I just never responded to that because what do you even say to that? Not sure why he's even on dating apps and matching with girls just to be rude to them. It's bizarre. Anyway, love you guys and the pod. Love you.
Thanks. Love you. This is a very funny encounter because I like love someone who can like commit to the bit, and the fact that this is a multi-year Christmas Eve bit is very funny to me. Although, did I miss in the beginning part? Like, how did she know he had COVID? Or she just assumed?
No, she writes him and says, you're on the dating app on Christmas Eve. Are you Jewish or do you have COVID as well? I'm guessing she originally had COVID too. To which he responded 2 years later and goes, this is not a joke. I literally had COVID.
Right, but it's like 2 years later. Dude, let
years?
it go. Also,
how did
who
you have
cares?
access to the, like, have you not, like, if it's 2 years later, I would imagine her message is very buried, unless maybe you literally deactivated the app and you opened it 2 years later and it's the last one that was there. Seems like he's digging through old messages.
Yeah. Which I guess
also, this is
do.
not a joke. I literally had COVID. Like, okay, she clearly didn't know. And she's not making fun of you for having COVID.
Also, that was 2 years ago. Like, that's such a weird thing to say 2 years after the fact. This is not a joke. I literally had COVID.
It's like, well, I'm sorry. Okay. Are you feeling better? How are you feeling?
Right. Like, dude, I think you made it. You're all good.
Right. It's good to hear from you now, 2 years later.
Seems like he just doesn't really have a sense of humor.
Or, I mean, yeah. I will say, I need to preface this because we haven't done encounters in so long. Obviously, we always say, take these with a grain of salt. This is one person's experience. And I just don't want anyone like going and leave these people alone. This is just for fun to share experiences of meeting people. But this is one person's encounter. It's not to say that if you match with Ben, he may not be mean to you. So totally go for it. I will say to this person, this Christmas Eve, go for it again.
Yeah.
And if he's not on the app or you're not on the app, I say slide into the DMs and say, year 4, Ben, let's give it a go and just see.
Yeah.
I think
that's
by
fun.
year 4, I would be like, all right, you got me. Like, what's up? Like, and maybe talk. He may crack.
I think you should just message him every Christmas Eve.
I do too. I think
for the rest of your life. Like, you'll be married with kids and be like, hey, Ben, let me know if I should call it all off for you.
How are you
Every
feeling?
year.
Or just like, yeah, check
Yeah.
in
Oh,
on
how
the
was that
status.
COVID 19 years ago?
So those are all the Bachelor Encounters we have. However, we have someone seeking advice.
Yes, I
and
love
we need to
advice.
give advice.
I think we give good advice.
I don't think we give good advice, but I think we
Oh, okay.
try. Okay. Hey, girls, love the pod. Here's the situation I'd love your advice on. My roommate and I became instant friends when I moved in, bonding over being single and how awful dating can be. We're both in our late 20s, by the way. About a month and a half later, I met my now boyfriend. At first, she was supportive, but after meeting him, her attitude completely changed. She got moody and made comments like, "You're way out of his league," which really rubbed me the wrong way. Mind you, everyone else that's met him absolutely loves my boyfriend and he treats me like a king. Also, he's so handsome. After that, I stopped sharing as much because she didn't seem genuinely supportive. Then a couple months later, she started casually dating someone. She suddenly became really competitive, like pointing out that she was spending the holidays with her situationship and implying that I must be upset for not spending it with my boyfriend. The way she's been made me really distant and closed off with her because I don't want anything to do with the competition, and I hate having this competition forced upon me. I've been dating my boyfriend for 8 months now and haven't said anything to her because I don't want to outright say she seems jealous or insecure, but I'm also incredibly annoyed with her. I also have no idea how I'd bring it up. What should I do? Your advice would be so appreciated. Thank you so much. This is rough.
Yeah, I think you have to think if you really want this person to be your friend. Like, based on some of the things you're saying, it seems like this is like not a true friend in the sense that, like, you know, she's not being supportive. She's kind of upset that you're dating someone when she's single. Then when she's not single, she's competitive with you. Like, that's not a vibe that I would want. But if she genuinely is a really good friend and you want to save that friendship, I think maybe have some sort of conversation of like, hey, I've been noticing recently you seem to be like a little competitive with our I don't know how would you word it? Like, I'm trying to think of like a nice way to put it, because I feel like you always have to use iMessages, right? Like, you always have to say like, I think from my perspective, it kind of seems like you've been like a little competitive, or I'm kind of getting the sense that you don't really like my boyfriend, which kind of it makes me feel a little awkward to hang out, but I love you so much as a friend and really want to like figure this out, and then go from there.
I have a little bit of a different take. I would say run. Like, I would move out or try to distance yourself from her because I think there's too many red flags in a row. I think you guys both being single and that's what bonded you, it seems like unless you're on the same page with her completely, she's not ever going to be happy for you. And I think just because you were dating a guy and she wasn't at first, she was giving you comments that were not nice. And then she starts dating someone and all of a sudden it's a competition. It doesn't feel like this person's bringing value to your life. And
Yeah.
it seems like they're newer friends, right? Like, it didn't.
Yeah, it seems like they became friends because they were roommates or like moved in together.
And you can always get another roommate. And I think the easiest way, it seems like you may already be here mentally, like, this isn't a person I want in my life. So I think to avoid the conversation, you can always just be like, make up a reason why you're going to be ending the lease, or that your friend is in town and you're going to move in with her. I don't think there are good things on the horizon with this friendship, because think about, you get engaged, she sabotages your bachelorette party. Like, I feel like this could snowball if this is the type of friend that can't genuinely be happy for you when you're happy.
Yeah. But what if this friend has other good qualities and is just going through a hard time herself? Maybe doesn't even realize how she's coming across. Like, maybe she's just feeling like she was feeling insecure when the friend had a boyfriend and she didn't, but she didn't realize she was like coming off in like a competitive, judgy way.
Also, you're spending Christmas with your situationship. You guys should have the talk here a little bit more than a situationship.
So true. Right.
I would say that
it's
back
really a
in that
competition.
moment. Like, if she's like, well, I have a serious boyfriend, you have a situationship, why are you meeting his family?
Yeah, so
I
true.
would say, or like, oh, we don't want to rush into things because we want this to actually last, and just stare back at her. You can give her a taste of her own medicine too, but I know for me that would give me anxiety. Like, I could play the game back, but I don't want to play the game back. So if you're that type of person, I think maybe just friendship breakup.
I think though you owe someone at least one chance to change their behavior, because I don't think, maybe she doesn't know she's doing it. I would say have one, if there are other aspects of the friendship that you like and you think in other ways she's a good friend, I would have one conversation being like, hey, I've been kind of feeling this way that it feels like a little icky and competitive, and I just don't really want to feel that way. So I'm curious if like what's going on your end, or if you've noticed that. And if she's actually a good friend and is just kind of going through a weird time or is feeling a weird type of way about relationships, she'll be like, oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was coming across that way. Or, oh, sorry, like, I'm just kind of projecting like this is something that like I'm going through myself. Or like, or just, oh, you're my friend, I don't want to make you feel that way, I didn't realize. Like, I'll say things differently. If they're a good friend, they'll do that. And if they don't, then cut them off, I think.
I agree, but the only thing that's making me feel not that way is that they bonded over being single. It's like Lauren and Heidi, honestly. That's what, like, they went out together, they were single, and then Lauren got mad at Heidi when she had a boyfriend, and look how that ended up. I think,
but don't you think it's normal to like bond with friends that are in the same stage of life as
but then
you? And then when
try
that
to, like,
changes,
sabotage.
I can see how that's like jarring at first, though. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you can be starting the summer like, yay, we're two single girls. Like, this summer we're gonna have so much fun, and then 3 weeks later your friend gets a boyfriend, and you're like,
right,
aw,
no, that sucks. No, I understand like not loving it. It seems like she's been dating the guy for 8 months, she said, and it's still going on. This doesn't seem like I'm going through something,
right?
You know.
Yeah.
It seems like it's been happening for a while. So I don't know. We'd love to hear back from you on this.
Yes.
Like, have you taken further steps? Where are we in this situation? I'm sure our listeners would love to know as well. So, I'm not going to read the name on this because advice is personal and it's none of your business, but the person, you know who you are. So write us back again and let us know the update. Like, is this something that was short-lived and like now she's cool again? Or like, do we think she just has like weird jealousy issues that are red flags?
Totally.
Let us know. Sound off in the comments below. And that's all the time we have for today. But hopefully you guys liked this nostalgic version of the show.
I liked it.
To me is very much like our other shows, but for some reason people really like the segments. So we're back with the segments.
I know.
So we'll see you later this week for Sound Off. If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe and like this video. If you're listening, make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening. Share the episode with a friend.
Sharing is caring.
It is. All right. Well, is that it, Jackie?
I think that's it.
Goodbye, bitches.